What's going on, everyone? Healy here, and today I'm going to be ranking all the Season 2 Team Affinity cards, the main diamonds, so the one that represents every single team. I did it with Season 1. We're back for Season 2. If you do enjoy the video, make sure you click that thumbs up button. Best way to show support. Hit that subscription button if you're new and enjoy the content. Make sure you check out the Twitch channel. I stream 5-6 days a week, all pretty much late at night. You can follow my Twitter, Instagram, whatever, description on below. And if you guys are going to any baseball games soon, make sure to use Healy6 on SeatGeek for $20 off your first purchase. I just wanted to preface before we get into this. This is just my opinion on rankings. They aren't going to exactly match yours, so you will have different rankings. If you have used someone that I rank pretty low on this list, that should probably get bumped up, let other people know in the comments section. I could miss a gem, kind of like what I did with Trent Grisham in Season 1. And my rankings pretty much go by how many other guys are at the same position in the same team affinity and how usable they are going to be on your team. We'll get to the first base position at some point. There isn't too many super good first basemen, and that makes a guy go higher up on the list than maybe someone else with a lot of depth, like shortstop. You're going to see a lot of shortstops throughout this, so that will make some guys not as desirable. And these rankings are going to be who you should go after first and who you should just disregard and get later on. Kind of like this Bryce Terrain card on the screen right now. Like, he's a lefty, which is kind of cool. He can play second base, which is cool. He has diamond defense, 89 speed. He has good contact. He just doesn't have the power. That really hurts him. Batting lefty only, that kills him. So, like, if you face a left-handed pitcher, you're going to have to bat lefty-lefty. There's just other guys that do it better that I had to include higher on this list. If you're a Bryce Terrain fan, go for him, but he is number 30. These next few guys are all going to be very similar. Number 29 is Jordan Blazevich. He just has a super basic pitch repertoire. His per nines are cool, but you're only going to be able to go through the lineup maximum twice before a decent player will be able to turn on stuff and notice what you're doing. Pinpoint this year might make that not as terrible, but man, he doesn't have a sinker, doesn't have a cutter. His pitches are just as basic as they can be, and there's already way better guys out there to add to your rotation. 28 is Josiah Gray. He's just another guy in which his per nines look cool, but he has the basic pitch mix, throws only 96. His slider changeup are cool, 10 mile per hour difference, curveballs under 80. But again, basic pitch mix. If you're a Josiah Gray fan, go get it. I'm gonna get this Josiah Gray card. That's my guy, but other people, I could see why you wouldn't want to get this card. And this is the last of that bunch. Another Future Stars card. He has a four-seam slider, changeup, and curveball. His hits per nine's 104, which is cool. It's great. Ks per nine's 88. Again, basic pitch mix. He's 6'8". The only reason I had him higher over the other guys is he kind of has a Lucas Giolito-esque motion. He hides the ball right before he throws it, and it might be hard to pick up on. So that might be the best advantage to him, but still, these three guys, they're just okay. And number 26 is Johnny Damon. He has great contact. He has okay power. It's not too sick. This guy normally hits well on the game, so good for him. He has a good swing. Power just isn't there. You look over at his defense, it's 71, 80 reactions, cool, but he has 57 arm. Might as well throw with his right hand. His speed is great. You like seeing the 85 with 94 steal, but he just doesn't have the right tools to be great on MLB The Show. And there's other guys that you should go after instead of him. At number 25, I'm going Lou Gehrig. I wish Lou is better. He's going to get a way better card down the line. His fielding's okay. It's just under 70. You could at least bump it up to 70. His speed is 61. You want to platoon him, go ahead. 70 and 70 versus lefties is not good at all. He has 125 contact versus righties, which is cool. He has 84 power versus righties. There's going to be another first baseman we got to along the way, couple to be exact, in this program. You could already go out and get the Miguel Cabrera card. You could get the Vlad Jr. card from the Player of the Month last month. I just don't see a need to get Lou Gehrig early on in this Team Affinity set. It's disappointing too. And number 24, we got Isaac Paredes. This card looks interesting. He can play third base, but he also has shortstop and second base secondaries. His contact is great at 100. He could get up to 80 threshold if you need him to for power versus righties. Against lefties, going to be a little bit weaker, but he's a right-handed bat. His fielding, he has good reaction at the corner. Fielding's okay. 88 arm, 45 speed. I don't know what his swing is like in game. He looks sneaky, maybe down the line. The lack of power, speed. This card just doesn't look too good on paper. Speaking of first baseman, we got Edgar Martinez, 95 overall. And boy, did they do Edgar dirty. I don't get this. At least against right-handers, he dominates. 121 contact, 96 power. Against lefties, 90 contact at 69. Nice. His fielding, just okay. It's bronze. He has 40 speed. But he's a right-handed bat, so hitting against the lefty with that low of power isn't going to be too terrible. Against righties, you'll want that matchup. He normally has a decent swing on the game. You could play him at third. Would really not recommend that, though. And 23 is where he sits. At 22, I have Tony Gwynn. This guy, similar to the Johnny Damon card. Maxed out contact. Doesn't have a lot of power. Will his slap hitting be effective on MLB The Show? I'm going to have to try him out at some point. What ranks this guy a little bit higher compared to Johnny Damon, though, is his fielding. His speed's not there. He has minus 14 speed compared to Damon, but he has at least gold fielding. His reaction's 78. His arm is 84, which is huge for right field. And all the slight bumps right there, that's why he gets bumped up the list a little bit. But he's still at the bottom portion. Number 21, I have Hank Aaron. He's an outfielder, and he could play third base if you really want him to. His contact and power versus righties just not really there too much. Against lefties, he's a good bat. Fielding-wise, gold defense all around. You like to see that. Didn't realize this was center field primary. Would not really recommend him playing him in center, so you might have to parallel him if you want him to get at least 80 reaction in left or right. The arm will be there. His speed a little slow. I'm excited for the 99 whenever that version decides to come out. But as of now, his hitting attributes against righties just doesn't really do it for me. And number 20 is Johnny Bench. Another card who hits well against lefties, but against righties, he's just okay. He gets pushed up on the list quite a bit just because he is a catcher. He has diamond defense at catcher, 90 arm, 89 block. A little slow at 35 speed. Play at least first and third. Kills this card in most games. And I think in this game as well is going to be a swing. It's just never been good on the game. I don't know what they can do. Maybe they can change up the speed of it. I don't know. But the swing normally kills Johnny Bench's cards, which is a shame because he's one of, if not the best catcher in MLB history. 19, Mark Pryor. This is the highest version Mark Pryor card we have seen on a game. His pitch mix, interesting. He almost hits a basic pitch mix. Instead of a slider, he has a slurve. All the differentials are okay. His hits per 9 are a little low. What makes this card better than the other, like Josiah Gray, Rutledge, and Blazevich? It's got to just be he has a slurve instead of a slider. Like that could fool people. The slurve and curveball mixed together could be a good combo. It's definitely cool to see a Mark Pryor card this high, but who knows how many games I actually use this guy in my rotation. At number 18, and I wish I could rank this guy higher, Dante Bichette. His swing in the game, normally pretty decent. Look at those hitting attributes: 100, 125, 95, 105, 92 vision. The problem though, this guy is an absolute bench bat. 58 reaction, 62 fielding, 70 speed, absolute bench bat. You can play the corner outfield spots. The reason why he's so high in this list is due to his hitting. Let's just say those hitting categories got reduced by like 10 or 15 points. Hard to be very close to the bottom. And the reason why he is also so high is this is a must-get bat for your bench, or just any, like, an event that you want to use him in. Interesting card, but cannot play the field ever. Number 17's Brandon Webb. I wish I could rank this guy higher. I had higher hopes for him. Here's a sinker, curve, changeup, cutter, four seam. The per nines just aren't necessarily there. 83 and 82. When we're seeing guys close to the 100 mark for hits per nine, that's what affects the PCI size. Doesn't throw the hardest. I didn't expect him to throw the hardest. Pitch control, the cutter's one of the worst. 69 control on the cutter. That's going to hurt you a lot. His accuracy region is going to be massive. His break on it, only 62, which means that that cutter is kind of going to be flat. It's not going to be too great. At least the sinker is great. It'll be a great pitch, but if he had more movement and more control on that cutter, maybe he gets bumped up on the list. I don't know. Maybe I have to use him some more. We'll have to see. I would like to be wrong on this, but at the same time, I don't think I am. This is a guy I thought that was going to be at the top of my list. Quinn Priester. This guy throws 97. He has a sinker that he throws 95. His curveball, 81, changeup 80, slider 84. The pitch differentials are insane. 94 hits per nine, 97 Ks per nine. The downside that you don't see on paper is motion. Kind of like Jacob deGrom, Garrett Cole. His motion is just so simple. It doesn't help him at all, and it actually kind of hurts him. So I don't expect this card to be good just because of that. It's a shame how that affects a pitcher, but it's the truth. His motion's a little too easy to see, and I don't think this card would be too great outside of how it looks on paper. At the halfway mark, we are at Cal Ripken Jr. 92 contact versus righties. He has no power versus righties as well. 65 versus lefties. 108 and 90 for contact and power, which is cool. Fielding, amazing as always. His reaction, a little low compared to all his other attributes at 83. 56 speed. You do face a lot of lefties this year. There are a lot of good lefties like Cliff Lee, you got Mike Hampton, Fernando Valenzuela. There is one more I'm missing. You got Garrett Crochet, who's coming up on this list. So there's a lot of good lefty pitchers. Cal can only play shortstop on this, which also hurts him. But if you face a righty, he's going to generate no pop. Number 14, we have Willie Mays. This card looks nuts. I'm glad they got him a mid-90s card this year. Against righties, 97-85. Against lefties, a little weak at 77 and 89. But you do have the advantage facing a lefty as a right-handed batter. His fielding reaction is 91, which is awesome. He's going to get to pretty much anything just because of his reaction. His fielding, 86. You could bump it up to diamond. You want to grind this card out enough. 90 arm, 78 speed. Again, you could bump it up to 83. This card, if you parallel it all the way, would look nasty. It's just if you want to put in the time and effort to do so. But as of now on my list, it's a middle tier card. And number 13 is Shane McClanahan. The guy who has the same pitch mix compared to all the other future stars. Why is he so much higher up on the list compared to them? It's strictly just because he's a lefty. A hard throwing lefty. A lot of people struggle lefty. And there still are a lot of cards that don't have the best attributes against left-handed hitters. You will come up against some guys who do have righties that can mash them, but compared to right-handed pitchers, you're going to at least have a few guys in the order that you can absolutely dominate against. Which is why Garrett Crochet is right after him. Another hard-throwing lefty. This time, this lefty has outlier. So he throws up to 102 on his four seam. He has 97 hits per nine. Stamina's at 92. The only problem, he has a slider and changeup as his other pitches. Two seam, you could try to work that in. The control's not the best. The movement, not going to really be the best. But you can at least work it in. I'm gonna have to give him a try, see how many times through the order he can actually go through. If someone can actually hit the heat, that's gonna be a problem. If someone can't, Garrett Crochet's motion in general is pretty tough. They're gonna be in for a very long game. Just outside the top 10 is Robert Puason. Switch hitter, shortstop, 93-84 for speed and steal. His fielding, all in the 90s. You love to see it. Contact, close to 100 versus righties, 90 versus lefties. His power is okay. What's the difference between him and Bryce Terrain? Why it's such the big difference? Well, Puason could at least play third base. He's a switch hitter, which is awesome. And he just has a little bit per nines, and I value him. Just switch hitting, absolutely amazing on this. And because of this card, it kind of makes a terrain card irrelevant to get. Starting off the top 10 is Jimmy Fox. If you guys have watched the channel, you know Jimmy Fox dominated for me. First base card. His catcher is a secondary. His hitting pretty good. He has the power. His contact versus lefties is amazing. The weaknesses and why he drops spots due to the contact versus righties, which is 75. His speed's okay. That's what you'll get on a Jimmy Fox card. His fielding, absolutely atrocious though. I've seen not so good fielding catchers like play decent. This is a secondary position type of card, so that could hurt you. You could have a lot of pass balls. People could run on you. If you value the hitting over all that, go ahead, get Jimmy Fox. At number 9, and the second best first baseman in the game is Jim Thome. This card, very comparable to the David Ortiz. His contact and power versus righties, immaculate. Lefties, he has 74 contact. That is gonna hurt him big time. At least he has the power to make up for it though. 100 power there. So if you do connect, the ball could potentially leave. Fielding, he has a 72 arm. Cool. You aren't going to be making too many throws with that. His reaction's 58. Fielding is 62. Compared to Big Poppy, not much of a difference. Big Poppy does have +9 more speed. So you want to try and hit home runs with Thome. At number 8 is Roy Oswalt. He has a 4-seam sinker, 12-6 slider, and changeup. Sinker, big pitch. His hits per 9, not great. It's 79. So the PCI going to be kind of massive. Where this card will excel is the pitch repertoire. A 12-6 means 72 miles per hour is absolutely huge. His control, insane on every pitch besides the changeup, 74. His pitch break, insane on everything. His sinker, only 85 break, but that's still huge. Changeup, you're just gonna have to try and locate it. It'll be a little tough, but it should be a very good pitch. I wish I could rank this as one of my best pitchers, but the hits per 9, huge reason why it's not. And number 7 is Joe Torre. This guy is looking great. He has maxed out contact, which is huge. I've heard very good things about hitting with him. I used him a couple years ago. He wasn't too bad. He has power against righties, which is big. His secondaries are a huge reason. Absolutely huge reason why this guy is so valuable on this list. He has catcher. His fielding 76, reaction 75, 80 arm. He could throw people out. 47 speed, which is pretty decent for a catcher. So if you're playing on some higher difficulties, have maxed out contact, some decent defense, maybe you try out Joe Torre. Torrey Hunter coming in at number 6. This guy dropped late last year, and it was a joke almost because of everyone that was released at the time. This year, he releases at the perfect moment. This card looks nasty. His swing in the game, fun. This is one of the guys I grew up watching, so that's awesome as well. 93, 117 contact. He has 80 power versus righties, which is cool versus lefties. He mashes. Fielding, amazing. 96 and 92 for a fielding reaction. Speed could be a little bit better. Luckily, you can upgrade it this year. Same with the arm. You can get at least up to 80 arm if you really love using this card. Running out the top 5 is Sam Huff, catcher. Primary catcher. 80 block, 80 fielding. You love to see it. 90 arm. Gonna throw out a lot of people. His speed, pretty quick. 56 speed is awesome. 80 contact, a little low, but it's okay. 91 versus lefties. 105 and 102 power is huge, especially on a catcher card. There aren't too many catchers in the game at the moment that has these power numbers, especially to go along with the fielding. You can play first base if you want him to as well. Great choice though for the Rangers. And number 4 is Jordan Groshans, shortstop, righty bat, righty thrower, third base secondary. I wish these guys had second base secondaries. That'd be cool. Contact, great, hundreds. Power, 92 versus righties, 86 versus lefties, which is cool. Fielding, it's gold, 82 and 86. The reaction, big piece of being a shortstop. 92 arm, you love to see it. 70 speed. Again, as always, like, I don't know why I have to even say this, the parallel program, great. You could bump up this card, make it a monster. Swing is also good. I used him in a showdown a couple times. And number 3 is Edward Cabrera. He has a sinker, slider, curveball, changeup, and four-seamer. Kind of similar to the Sixto Sanchez that we saw in season 1. And also quirks. He has outlier on his pitch number 1, which is the sinker. Gets up to 100. His per nines, though, on this one, 100 and 101 and 97. The problem with Sanchez was his per nines. His hits per nines were in the 70s. Your PCI was massive because of that. Edward Cabrera is here to make this card even better. His differentials are okay. He throws hard. His pitch control, 90 on the sinker, which is great. The only one that's a little weak is the changeup. His pitch break, 92 on the sinker, 94 on the slider, 92 on the curveball. That is awesome. I faced the curveball. That is a very good pitch. I am super excited to use this card. And number 2 is Ronnie Mauricio, another shortstop that only has third base as a secondary. His fielding, 88. His reaction, 94. Speed is 62. That is awesome. The speed, not so much. He's a little slow for a shortstop, but his fielding and everything, great. Contact, 95 and 89, which is cool. Power, 96 and 82, which is cool. This is another switch hitting shortstop. And man, his stance in the game is awesome. I feel like I crush everything when I make contact with him. This is going to be my number 1 position player to go after. Finally, we are at number 1, and Cliff Lee, the guy who's been in the game the past couple years and has had just okay cards, gets an absolute gem. Milestones, one of the best additions to the game. 88 hits per 9, okay. At least it's better than Roy Oswald's. 103 Ks per 9. He's a lefty, which is going to be awesome. His pitch mix, one of the best in the game. Sinker, cutter, circle change, knuckle curve, and a four-seamer. Guess what? You're going to be able to dot. 99 control on the sinker, 89 on the cutter, 99 on the circle change, 99 on the knuckle curve, 94 on the four seam, 95 on the sinker. Cutter, a little weak at 75, changeup 85, knuckle curve 92, and the four seam 99. This is just a pinpoint wizard type of card. Like, you better learn how to use pinpoint, because man, you're gonna put your opponent in a body bag real quick if you're able to locate pitches. So that's gonna do it for my rankings on every single Team Affinity Season 2 card. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you click that thumbs up button. Best way to show support, hit that subscription button down below. There's gonna be 2 videos on the screen right now. One of them, my most recent video, the other one, a random one. Check them out if you have not already. This is Sealy, and I'm out. Peace.